highly favored, I'm bliss.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna be figuring out what were the best figures from 2025. I did do a top 25 countdown for the top 25 best WWE figures of 2025. It is on my channel if you want to go check that out after this video. But today I have 20 different categories for these figures, and we're going to decide which figure is the best in each of those categories, which figure, wins in the most categories, and ultimately deciding the best figure that released this year. So I don't want to waste too much of your time. Let's dive into our first category. We're starting off strong with the best Ultimate Edition of the year. We've got 5 contenders for this. We have the Monday Night Wars Ultimate Edition Walmart exclusive Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Ultimate Edition Series 29 Dominic Mysterio, the Best of Ultimate Edition Series 7 Cody Rhodes. Technically, it didn't release this year, so you can count this as the Mattel Creations one. They're virtually the exact same figure, just repainted differently. So I only have the Best of, not the Mattel Creations, so you can count whichever one you want. Like I said, they're the exact same. We have the Ultimate Edition Series 24 Bray Wyatt and the Ultimate Edition Series 29 Umaga. Like I said earlier, if you did watch my top 25 countdown, you probably already know which one won. I went with the Ultimate Edition Monday Night War Walmart exclusive Stone Cold Steve Austin as the best Ultimate of the year. If I were to rank these, I'd go Austin, Cody, Dom, Bray, then Umaga. All of these are great in their own ways, but I think the Austin is the best one. They got the formula down to a T, and it perfectly represents Stone Cold Steve Austin from this era. The shorts, the shirt, it's really an amazing figure. All the accessories, there's a lot of different ways you can display this one, which is really, really cool. The Dominic is another awesome one. Dominic is one of my favorites, so that figure was a standout. Cody's amazing as well. Bray Wyatt is really awesome for that 2-in-1 factor, and the masked head sculpt I really like. And then Umaga, that one really shocked me. That Umaga was really, really good. But Stone Cold Steve Austin is the best Ultimate Edition from this year. So there you have it. Stone Cold Steve Austin is the best Ultimate Edition from this year. But I also wanted to talk about the worst Ultimate Edition from this year. Now, I think all the Ultimates that I got, none of them are contenders for the worst. So the worst Ultimate I picked personally is one that I don't have. So that's why you don't really see nominees or anything. I went with the Ultimate Edition Series 24 Solo Sikoa. I'll see if I can put a picture on screen. But you can just Google that figure after this video. That figure does not look good at all, in my opinion. I think the head sculpts are really cool. The sculpted hand tape and wrist tape is dope. I just feel like he has skinny arms, and those kick pads not connecting to the boots. Those kick pads not connecting to the knee pads look really, really bad, in my opinion, and it creates a really, visually disgusting looking figure, in my opinion. So the worst Ultimate Edition, I went with Solo Sikoa, and I obviously don't have that one. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of it. So let's move on to the next category. Next up, I want to take a look at the best and the worst first time in the line figures. So these were the only figures that I got that were first time in the lines. I know we had the Elite 117 Axiom and the Elite 121 Obafemi. I don't think Obafemi would have been best or worst. I think he's right in the middle. But Axiom, I think, would have been in contention for best. So I only saw him at a Target once and was never able to get my hands on it. I probably should have picked it up, but it is what it is. But these were all the first time in the lines I got. We got the Elite 118 Tama Tonga, the Elite 116 Lexus King, the Elite 120 Joe Gacy, the Elite 119 Ethan Page, and the Elite 118 Jacob Fatu. For the worst, I went with Tama Tonga. Just a really disappointing figure. His knees are super stiff. His legs are really skinny. Overall, a skinny figure. Don't like how the vest feels. It feels really cheap. And his head scan ended up coming out really, really long, especially that forehead. So, not too enjoyable. I went in with high hopes for that figure and came out very, very disappointed, unfortunately. But for the best, I went with Elite 120 Joe Gacy, another one that was really, really good. That one surprised me. He poses really well. He looks just like the character. You really can't ask for much more. I might be a little bit biased because, Bray Wyatt's my favorite wrestler of all time, and I really do enjoy the Wyatt 6, but I actually think it is the best figure here. Jacob Fatu is close. So is Ethan Page. I really wouldn't change nothing about Ethan Page. Ethan Page is really, really good. But yeah, I actually went with Joe Gacy for the best and Tama Tonga for the worst. Next up, we have the best Elite action figure of the year. Our contenders, we got the Elite Legends 26 Kurt Angle, the Greatest Hits Series 8 John Cena Collector's Edition, the Elite 119 Dominic Mysterio. Shout out to Dom. Like, his Elite cracked the top 5 and his Ultimate cracked the top 5. He had some amazing figures this year. We have the Farewell Tour John Cena Walmart exclusive and the Elite 119 Dexter Lumis. All amazing in their own ways. They all have a lot of detail, especially that Dom and Dexter. I think those have a great amount of detail. Really hard to have this clear Cena here as he doesn't have any detail on him, but he is a really great figure. And I actually went with him as the best Elite. Now, I know a lot of people aren't going to like that. Like I said, you know, he really doesn't have any detail on him, so it's really hard to compare him to these other figures. So if you don't want to consider that one on here, then I would go with the Legends 26 Kurt Angle. That'd be my second pick. But for me personally, I'm counting the Cena, and I'd have him as the best Elite from this year. That's just my opinion. You know, if you disagree with that, if you have Dom or the other Cena or even Dexter, that's fine too, because I understand not wanting to include the Cena. I'm going to include him, and I have him as my best Elite figure. So if you don't want to count that, I'd go with Kurt as my second. But for best Elite, I'm going with the Greatest Hits Series 8 Collector's Edition John Cena. Next up, we have the worst Elite from the year. So from left to right, we have the Evolution 3-pack Triple H. I don't want to hate on that one too much because I actually kind of like that figure. I really do like the torso. The other head sculpt, the series one, is really, really good. And if you really just take off the jacket, you have a really cool, you know, cloth shirt and tie combination. So it's not the worst, but the execution with the jacket, it just looks too baggy to me. Randy Orton. Now, you might be wondering why this figure is even here. Looking at it, I'll get into it later on because that figure is absolutely abysmal. But visually, it looks really good. We have the Walmart exclusive Awesome Truth 3-pack, The Miz from that set. Again, right now, he probably looks really good to you, but that head sculpt was so bad. I actually had to switch it with the basic one because that head sculpt was absolutely abysmal. But from the neck down, a really good figure, and even when I switched the head sculpt here, he looks really, really cool. And then we have the Elite 118 Tama Tonga. I already talked about my problems with it. He did, you know, win worst first time in the line figure because his forehead's really long. Like I said, too skinny. Don't like the material of that vest either, but it is what it is. For me, the worst Elite of the year is going to be this Randy Orton. I'll move the other figures out of the frame. It really came down for me between him and the Tama because the Miz, only problem is going to be the head sculpt, and then Triple H was pretty solid if you remove the jacket. Look at that warped leg. Do you see that, dude? That's so bad. And I know you're probably wondering, well, that's probably only your copy. Nope, there was 4 Evolution 3-packs there, and I put one back because Randy Orton's leg looked so warped. And I still ended up getting a warped leg. And I've seen other people have this problem. The QC issues just add up. What is that ripping? Is that like glue that got on it? And then the peg isn't even in there. That's insane. And this isn't just mine that had this. Obviously, not all of the Randy Ortons have this problem, but a lot of them do. His figures were so tight out of the packaging. You can go to my review. That actually looks insane, bending his legs, by the way. You can go to my review and see how tight his legs were. Now, they're really, really loose. Like, I've never had a figure that legs went from so tight to so loose. Like, this figure's insanely bad. Look at that, just moving him around a little bit. Visually, a really cool young Randy Orton, but the actual figure sucks so bad. So this is definitely the worst Elite from this year. Next up, we have the best head sculpt of the year. So from left to right, we have the SummerSlam Roman Reigns. Both the long hair and bun look absolutely amazing. In my opinion, they're Roman Reigns' best head sculpts. The longer beard, the shaved sides, and I already love the smiling head sculpt from back in the day when they did it. So the way they redid it here with the shaved sides and the thicker beard, beautiful. Absolutely Roman's best head sculpt so far. Next up, we have the top pick, CM Punk. Now, I do like all 3 of his Ultimate Edition head sculpts better with the slick back hair, but I think this one is the most realistic. Like, it looks like they put a different amount of detail into this one. Like, it looks very, very realistic with the, you know, the gray hairs. Looks crazy, that head sculpt. Next up, we have the Austin from the Ultimate Edition Monday Night Wars figure, the Serious head sculpt. Brand new head sculpt. I believe the other two are reuse, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they're new, but they look very similar to past Austin head sculpts. This is the best serious Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, look at that expression. He looks angry. Really, really cool Austin head sculpt. We got Kurt Angle with the mouth guard, and you can also see the anger in his face with the wrinkles. That one's really, really dope. And then we have kind of a goofy one with the Ultimate Edition, Dominic Mysterio, the tongue out. But that's like a goofy head sculpt gone right. So that I really do like that one. I went with the Roman Reigns. Like I said, I think it's Roman's best head sculpt. Like, that one looks just like Roman Reigns smiling. I know a lot of people didn't want a Roman Reigns smiling head sculpt, but I really like that they redid this one, man. It was already my favorite Roman when he had the goatee and everything. That was already my favorite Roman head sculpt. So the way they redid it here with the bigger beard and the shaved sides, I absolutely love it. I do like the bun a little more better than the long hair, but they're the exact same, so it's really personal preference for you, but I love that bun Roman Reigns head sculpt. Next up, we have the worst head sculpt. I'm not even going to waste your time. You already know it's this Miz. I don't even know what it is. It kind of looks like they used a LA Knight sculpt and tried to put Miz's face technology on it. Absolutely disgusting. Get it out my face. And to wrap things up here, our final categories don't have contenders. It's just a figure that I think it is. So first up, best articulated, I've got the clear John Cena. They use some different kind of plastic here, and he's insanely smooth. Like, you don't know unless you have that figure. Worst articulated is Randy Orton. I kind of got into it earlier. Never had a figure that went so tight to so loose, especially with that warped leg. That Randy Orton is definitely not it. Next up, we have the most surprising figure. The figure that I had really no expectations for and ended up being really good. The Ultimate Edition Fan Takeover Randy Orton. This is the young Randy Orton to get. Don't even look at this one. Just get this one. It's so good. I was hesitant on it. I didn't want to get it. Saw it for 16 bucks and picked it up. And it surprised me. Really, really good. Next up, we have the biggest disappointment. The figure that I thought was going to be really good and ended up being really bad. The Elite 118 Tama Tonga. Don't even know why I had expectations for him. You can already tell that he looked skinny from the images. I just, let my fandom for Tama Tonga really make me excited for that one, and it ended up being really bad. I still love Tama Tonga as a performer, but the figure, not so much. Next up, we have the most detailed figure, and I went with the Elite 119 Dexter Lumis. The rustic pants, they made the skin tone darker to match the vibe, and the mask, just insane. That had to be the most detailed. The least detailed is the Fan Takeover Ultimate Edition John Cena. Not much of a surprise. They really couldn't put logos for, copyright reasons. Would have been cool if they put some, fake versions of the logos like AEW does sometimes, but it's a whole different company. The most overrated figure, I went with the Elite 117 Seth Rollins. A really good figure, don't get me wrong, but I just see a lot of people hype this up, and, my legs are loose, and no, not everybody has that problem, so I'm not going to let that get in the way. But it's really your standard Seth Rollins with a really cool gear, so nothing too crazy. I do like it a lot, but it's just a regular Seth Rollins with a really good gear. And then the most underrated figure, I went with the Ultimate Edition Jacob Fatu. I thought all three head sculpts were really good, and I don't think the proportions are as bad as people make it seem. Don't get me wrong, wish he had bigger arms for sure, maybe like the Bray Wyatt ones, but it's not the worst. It's not as bad as people make it seem. But now, let's deem the best figure and the worst figure from the year. Next up, and finally, we're going to be deeming which superstar had the best action figures this year and which superstar had the worst action figures this year. If you don't know what I'm talking about, for example, Randy Orton had a really good Ultimate Edition, but a really bad Elite. So his track record's like 50-50. Axiom, he only had one WWE figure, and it was really good. So he has a 100% track record. And The Miz, he only had one Elite from this year, and it was really bad. So he has like 0% good figures. So in my opinion, the superstar with the worst WWE action figures from this year is Tama Tonga. I know he only has one, but looking at all the other figures, I think they have good figures besides that one. Like Triple H, he has other really good figures. Randy Orton obviously has other really good figures. And the Miz figure is actually good besides the head sculpt. Tama Tonga is just a bad figure all around, unfortunately. The head sculpt cannot save it because it's really long. And that forehead's insane. So Tama Tonga has the worst action figures from this year. Now, the best it was really, really close. I'm not gonna lie to you. I almost went with Logan Paul. His Elite is pretty much a repaint, but it's a really, really good repaint. So that's why you didn't really see him on any of the lists. And this Logan Paul almost made it, but I think Umaga beat him out slightly. And he would have been on the articulation for the best articulation list, but I didn't want to waste too much time just talking about this figure and the John Cena, so that's why I just put the John Cena. But Logan Paul, so close. I think he has like 100% track record for good figures all around. But if we're talking about this year only, I think someone beat him out a little bit, and it's really surprising. It's Dominic Mysterio, one of my personal favorites on TV. I think Dominic Mysterio has the best WWE action figures right now and the best WWE action figures from 2025. His Ultimate Edition cracked top 5 best Ultimate Editions, and his Elite cracked top 5 Elites. That rarely happens. Not only that, but both of these figures were on my top 10. I had the Elite at number 10 and his Ultimate Edition at number 5. So I think Dominic Mysterio is the WWE superstar right now with the best action figures, and Tama Tonga is the WWE superstar right now with the worst action figures. But if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can go ahead and comment down below as well. But that's going to do it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm bliss, highly favored. I'm bliss, highly favored.